Morning. Again, this is Wednesday morning, and I am going to be going through Packet B with y'all uh, this morning. I'm going to try to make this a little bit quicker. There's a lot to cover, but I found that it's a lot easier. I'm just going to go kind of overview of what sections you need to focus on and which ones you don't need to. Um, this is what you're going to be filling out based on the facts that I give you. And so when I give you the sample, you'll get to practice along with this. All right. So this first form is called the Form 1040. This is going to be like the backbone to your tax filing. Most people all start off with a Form 1040. And there are different types, but we're just focused on the regular type of form, the standard form, right? So filing status. There are a lot of filing statuses here. Single, single, married filing, jointly, married filing, separately, head of household, and qualifying widower or widow. For the purposes of our class, there are only two that you need to worry on or that you need to focus on. Single and married filing jointly. This married filing separately, we're not going to focus. Head of household and qualifying widow. No, no, and no. So only these two. And depending on what scenario I give you, you're going to check one of these boxes. Don't forget to check that box. Okay. Then you're going to come in and you're going to start inputting the fictional person's information. And y'all all know where to find this. You can find it at the W-2. You can find it at one of the 1099s or the 1098. First, last name, social, not yours, but theirs, right? If it's a joint return, so only if it's here, married filing jointly, you're going to fill out the spouse's first and middle initial, last name, and social. Then their address. Okay, don't worry about the P.O. box. I'm not going to give a P.O. box one. Then the city, town, post office, state, zip. Okay. Um, Presidential election campaign, ignore it. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to give you more than 4 dependents, so you don't have to worry about checking over here. All right, I'm not going to give you more than 4 dependents. Dependents are children, right? So standard deduction here. Someone can claim either you as a dependent or your spouse as a dependent. No, no, no. So we're not gonna go nope and nope. You don't have to don't draw a line through it. I'm just drawing to make it simpler to state of which things will we need to fill out, which ones will we not. Okay. All right. Blindness. No, I'm not going to give y'all any of that. Different rules and beyond what we're going to do. Okay. Dependent. So this is where you're going to put their children's name. Okay. Children's name. And go ahead and write out the actual children here, like not number 1, but their first child or second child and third child, right? Their social security numbers. See how that can get confusing. The social security numbers. Relationship, that's always going to be like son or daughter or child, right? And then qualifying tax credit. This is something that they've added relatively recently, and I'm going to say they all qualify, or I'll stay in the facts whether or not they qualify. You're just going to check off that box, okay? Don't worry about the other box. Okay. So as we come down, that's all the personal information. Before we even get into the numbers, you need to fill out that stuff. Okay, so line 1, you will need to fill out wages, tips, volunteers, attach forms, W-2. So where do you think you're going to find that information from? The W-2. And so you put that information in here. Don't worry about putting cents. Like if I give you a number that gives you cents, you don't need to worry about the cents. Just put the full number and round there. Okay. Tax exempt interest. I'm not going to give you anything, but taxable interest. Yes, and if you notice, it says attach Schedule B. So you'll put that here. Ordinary dividends, yes. Attach Schedule B. Keep those in mind, right? Okay, IRA distribution. So IRA distributions are important. IRA stands for individual retirement account. Okay, individual retirement account. It does not stand, in this context, it does not stand for the Irish Republic Army. That's a terrorist group in Ireland. They're mad at the British for dividing Ireland, Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland. Not them, right? When you make contributions to your IRA, you want to make sure you're contributing to the individual retirement account and not that terrorist group. Anyone in here is a fan of 30 Rock, you'll get that. All right, but IRA, individual retirement accounts. You're allowed, a regular IRA allows you to set aside a certain amount of your income. And I think this year, or for 2019, it's up to $6,000. Set aside $6,000 of your income, and you can deduct that from your income. You don't have to pay taxes on it this year. It goes into an investment account. It will grow tax-free. And then when you retire and you start taking money out of that account, that's when you pay taxes. So it's a tax-deferred account system. So this I will give you, right? So we will note the IRA distributions, okay? Pensions and annuities, I'm not going to give you any of that. I'm not going to give you any Social Security, okay? The people that we're going to be, the fictional characters are going to be working, and they're not going to be retired just yet, okay? Taxable amount of IRA distributions, we're going to go in and say that's going to be a 0. Okay, there are certain situations in which it may be you may have contributed to your IRA and it's not tax-free or pre-tax. We're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, and taxable, since we're not dealing with pensions and annuities or Social Security benefits, we can go ahead and no, we're not focused on that. Okay, capital gain or loss. I am not going to give y'all any capital gains. This is a common one, but we'll see tomorrow when we go over Schedule D. It can be a little bit more complicated, and so I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Okay, line 7 says other income from Schedule 1, line 9. Let's take a look real quick. Schedule 1, line 9. Okay, so there is going to be some stuff here. Okay, tax refunds, I'm not going to have that there. Alimony. Okay, so alimony is when a couple divorces, one spouse may be required to pay the other spouse alimony. It's essentially, let's say while they were married, one spouse got accustomed to a certain standard of living, and then they get divorced, and because they were married, or part of the relationship dynamics in this marriage was that spouse 1 was working and spouse 2 was staying at home, and so had been out of the job market for years, and then the divorce happens. Well, the spouse that's been out of the job market for years is at a disadvantage. And they, instead of saying, okay, you've divorced and it's on hard times, sometimes the court, the family court will say, you know what, spouse one, you need to pay spouse two a monthly amount that's alimony. It's just income support for, uh, because of the change in certain. We're not just going to throw them out. And so what that means for taxes is spouse one is paying spouse two. So should spouse one pay taxes on that income that they're not getting themselves, but they're giving to spouse two? And so the tax code goes, no, right? So if you receive alimony, if you're spouse two and you're receiving alimony, that counts as income that you're going to have to pay taxes on it. Okay. And I'm just going to skip down over here to part two, adjustments. You see alimony paid. So if you're spouse two, the person receiving alimony, it's going to add to your income up here. But if you're spouse one, the person who's paying alimony, that amount that you're paying is going to be subtracted from your income right here. So you're not going to pay taxes on it. Only the spouse that receives it is going to pay taxes on it. All right. So let's go back up. All right. So will there be other income? Yes, there will. So you will need to fill that out. Okay. And put that over here as well. Okay. Then it says add lines 1, 2B, 3B, 4B, 4D, 5B, 6, and 7A. This is your total income. Well, that's simple enough, right? We can all do that. And so we add anything in this column that has a number, we're going to add, and we're going to total up right here. Okay. So this is going to be the total income. All right. Now it says adjustments to income. Well, we're going to have certain adjustments too. This is where we're going to be deducting certain things from our total income. So let's go down to Schedule 2. Again, this is Schedule 2. And adjustments to income, you can see that at Part 2, Schedule 2. Okay. So first one up, educator expense. Yes, if I give you an example where one of the fictional people is an educator, well, teachers, oftentimes, public school teachers, private school teachers, right? We oftentimes buy things for the classroom that aren't necessarily reimbursed, or maybe we don't ask to get them reimbursed, but they're for the classroom. And so the tax code says, look, if you have unreimbursed expenses, you can deduct that up to a limit. And there is a limit of $250. A lot of teachers say that's not enough, but that's what it is. So you would write out $250 here. If you meet that, and oops, I put the cents there. You don't need to put the cents there. Keep it all whole numbers. Okay. If the individual meets the 250. All right, let's see. Certain business expenses, nope, we're not going to worry about that one. Okay, healthcare savings deductions, I'm not going to worry about that one for us. Moving expenses, not going to worry about that. Deduct, no, 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 possibly alimony. Okay, and so if you notice here also, you would need to fill out the recipient social security number. That's so the IRS can double check. Okay, you're saying you've paid individual B this money. Now individual B has the responsibility of paying taxes on it. Let's pull up their tax return. Did they record it? And if not, someone made a mistake. But putting in that if this person wants the deduction, they're going to need to give out that information. Okay. And date of original divorce or separation. I guess I'll throw that in there, right? And you just write that. That's all you have to do. Okay. IRA deduction, we talked about that. Yes, right? We're going to need to fill that out. Student loan interest deduction. We're going to assume they don't have any student loans. Tuition fee? No. Okay, so all you have to do here is total line 10, 18, and 19, and put that information in here, line 21. Okay, add lines 10 through 21. And we take the information that's right here, and we go back up to to our 1040, and we put that in 8A. Okay, then 8B says subtract the line. All right, and so we subtract it, and we just follow those simple instructions. Okay. Standard deduction versus itemized deduction. This is something that y'all are going to need to calculate out to figure out which one you should take. But the person, or whoever you are, should always take the one that gives you the greatest deduction. So standard deduction, this is something that you don't have to, like, it's given to you. You don't have to do a thing. You can just take it if you want it. All right, so standard deduction for single, married filing separately. Well, for singled is $12,200. For married filing jointly, it's $24,400. Anybody notice a difference between the two? One person, two people, they double it. That's it. All right. So standard deduction. Well, to figure out whether you should take the standard or the itemized, here's the standard over here. All right. But should you take that or the itemized, you're going to have to calculate out the itemized deductions, and that's going to be from Schedule A. We'll get to in the next video. I don't want to make this too long. Okay. Let's see. Qualifying business, we're not going to have any of that. Okay, so you would fill out this right here. Okay, add lines 9 and 10. Well, if line 10 is 0, then all you're going to do is copy line 9 over here to line 11A. And then 11B says taxable income. Subtract line 11A from 8B. And so you're going to do that math here. Okay. And you're going to fill that out right there. Okay. So this is the next side here is our taxable amount. Okay, C-tax instructions. Okay. Let's see. All right. Well, I was trying to pause it for a moment, but we will stop here because we do have to go through the other forms, but I want to stop this video and go through the other forms first, and then we'll come back to that video. All right. Thanks for listening. See you in a minute.